to Rinoa Reviews. Yep, Adam Sandler movie. Like Legend of Chun-Li, I asked the same question. Will this movie suck a little or a lot? Will this movie hurt a little or a lot? But yeah, it's got video games stuff in it, I guess, so it counts. Going with one shot with the rest of the week here. We're almost done. There's a few more of these left. But this is my review of Pixels. Good start with the NES text and Surrender by Cheap Trick. Summer of '82 and two kids who totally look like Kid Adam Sandler and Kevin James going to the arcade. Kid Sandler, a gaming savant, tearing it up on Pac-Man. Okay, that's possible. Centipede, I'm a little skeptical. Q-Bert? Alright, your first time playing, you gotta get used to what direction he even goes if you hit that stick. Kid Kevin gives Adam this flyer for a video game championship, and we see some other chunky kid head over heels for this clearly out of place and totally made up game called Lady Lisa. He's Ludlow Lamensov, the Wonder Kid. Why do they call him that? I guess because he wonders about things, His other gimmick's a conspiracy buff. Enter the antagonist character, maybe an 80s mullet young Peter Dinklage, called Fire Blaster. Oh hey, it's Dan Aykroyd as our host for this tournament. He expositions as this contest will be tipped by NASA. I guess they're gonna put it up in a space probe for aliens? Isn't this the plot for Yu-Gi-Oh! GX? And that's why Bell showed up. Tournament goes on and it's down to Fire Blaster and real name Eddie Plant and Sam Brenner, the young Adam. These two face off in a game of Donkey Kong. I've never been good enough to get to level 20 or whatever, but Blaster says to the kid, "You got the patterns down. Later levels, the barrels aren't so easy to predict. They're randomized." And this little tidbit's enough for Sam to lose. Not even so much as a fast forward to adult Sandler and James, the latter of which is president?
Of what?
The United States.
Of what?
Of America.
Which America?
North America.
Get out of here.
An unpopular one, too. He can't even read. And elsewhere in Guam, the Pixels are aliens in this movie? Oh. So now you're ripping off GX and Futurama. Anyway, Sandler works a Geek Squad type of job called Nerd Brigade. One loss at a tournament. Who's Geek Squad now? Yeah. I guess this is a movie where Let's Plays don't exist. If he's that good at his old Geek Squad thing, just set up some emulators so you can arcade it up while you stream on Twitch or something and make some extra dosh. Kid Kevin was talking about how he'd make MIT for crying out loud. How is Kevin James the president? Who was his opponent, a Middle Eastern woman? America doesn't want to vote for vaginas, so back then they voted for the other side of the tent. Thank you, Christopher Titus, for that sparkling gem of shots. Anyway, Sandler shows up for this kid whose parents are getting divorced, and hot mom that Sandler does his usual everyman shtick about. All that in the first 15 minutes of this movie. Army says they're under attack by literal cubes, because that's all pixels really are. Just like pixel by pixel. Little blocks, cubes. They get close and completely pixel up one army guy, like turns into pixels and up into the sky he goes. Assimilation? Anyways, Hot Mom and Sandler bond over not being where they should be in life. Mom somehow getting cheated on. Sandler getting cheated on by the doctor who was supposed to help in the childbirth for his ex and, well, helped in making said child. Oof. Sandler gets a call to the White House from President James. Mom stalks him there. Turns out she's a colonel. Sandler gets brought into the president, who has footage of the attackers on the army base in Guam. President Sandler in the war room says, "Galaga. 82 version that was apparently recalled due to glitches instead of the 86 version we can get a hold of nowadays? Interesting if true." Boardroom thinks that if the president, who already has a very low opinion in the public eye, comes out and says, "Galaga did this," it's impeachment, so they tell Sandler to kiss off. Sandler, driving away in his van, has a stowaway in the now adult Ludlow, still conspiracy nut, so he's in on what went down in Guam and believes that championship NASA probe brought the aliens here. They took it as a challenge. Ludlow's got this VHS tape of One Tree Hill on UHF, since cable boxes spy on you. According to him. Nowadays, quite possible. Ludlow's not about that, so he plays the tape, and it's a message from President Reagan, but not really. The aliens use all these, like, Ulu's icons to speak their language and converse. So, they're from the planet Volula. Yeah, through all these other Ulu's TV's icons, they said, "We've accepted your challenge." So trickle-down does exist, just not in economics, but war. Gather up your best against our best. Winner takes the loser's planet. You've already lost one battle. Our trophy is that guy was digitized from Guam. They said that's one of your 3 lives downed. They have coordinates for the next attack. Ludlow and Sandler are now back in the White House telling this to the president. Next attack is in India. Giant pong paddles tear down the Taj Mahal and digitize another who uses his phone to record what's going down. So the team of President, Colonel Hotmom, Ludlow, and Sandler are taken to the Colonel's secret lab, or whatever. The aliens are using light energy, so usual Earth weapons like guns won't do anything. But she secured a cube from Guam and hits it with her own light energy gun. Ah, we're playing by Jackie Chan Adventures rules, huh? Magic must defeat magic. Train up our Navy SEALs in all 80s arcade games while the next coordinates have been received. London, England. Cue Kevin talking to, I guess, the Prime Minister. Oh my god, this... Quote, "I trust with the concord of our powers we can duff up the jiggery pokey of these blighters and send them scuffling back to the fractious firmament from whence they came. We get it, you're British." Jesus Christ. I couldn't believe what I heard. I had to write it down. Word for word. "I trust with the concord of our powers we can duff up the jiggery pokey of these blighters and send them scuffling back to the fractious firmament from whence they came." I couldn't believe I read it the first time. I had to read it again. oh, this movie. At least this is an enjoyable hurt. Oh, God. So, a full decked-out army with light gun weapons as pixelated mushrooms form. Ah, shit, it's Centipede. Sandler advises, shoot the head of the Centipede so it doesn't split into multiple targets. Telling them, the Centipede will change directions if it hits a mushroom. The weapons work, they just don't know the patterns like Sandler does. One poor guy gets eaten. Sandler grabs one of the light guns and takes him down. President tells him, let the nerds take over. So yeah, him and Laszlo? Or Ludlow? Ugh, sorry, I got confused. Oh, Laszlo, my pinky's bent the wrong way. So yeah, just Sandler and Ludlow with guns booting an army of Marines, or whatever they are. Centipede is not this easy! Where's that fucking spider that's always coming into your shooting area? That's the real threat. Or was this an early bugged version that didn't add the spider until later? They thought like, oh, this game's too easy. We're not getting our quarters worth on this one. Let's add something to it. Oh, there is a spider in this one. Okay. In this, a centipede escapes and makes its way through cars in a hotel with Sandler giving chase. Takes it down. I forgot to write the line between the kid he saves down and Sandler. Kid almost gets eaten by the centipede, looks up at the now destroyed bits all over surrounding him, saying, "Who are you, mister?" Sandler's like, "I'm no hero. I'm just a guy who spent a lot of time playing video games." And the kid's like, "Good enough." Our heroes celebrate at a local pub. Ricardo Montalban from Fantasy Island, as the aliens send down one of theirs as proof of their victory. An old woman gets the duck hunt dog, also reminding them, "You're 1-2 against us. One more loss means the planet's annihilation." President decides to keep Sandler and Ludlow on, but they also need to find the one who won the championship back in '82, Eddie Plant, who has now since been divorced 4 times and currently incarcerated for hacking cell phone companies to get a mystery bill that goes to himself. Made about $50 million doing this before his 20-year sentence, is explained by Colonel Girlboss. They get his help provided they wipe his prison stay clean, and among other demands, including, I think, a 3-way between I think he wanted Serena Williams and Oprah, but Oprah wasn't. They couldn't get Oprah, but then he was like, I'll settle for Martha Stewart. Next attack touchdown in New York City. Pac-Man. Can't use light guns to kill Pac-Man. You don't kill Pac-Man with guns. You kill him with the 4 ghosts. So now we got these 4 cars colored like the ghosts, armed with the same technology as to make it so when they collide with Pac-Man 3 times, run him over, they win. They take him down and win the game. With Sandler, Eddie, and Ludlow, we got our 3 of the 4. Enter Professor Toru Iwatani, the creator of Pac-Man, and designed and produced many a classic Namco like Galaga, Rally X, Pole Position. Toru decides to reason with Pac-Man at first, like, he's not bad, he's my son. I created him, I know he's a good boy. And gets his hands pixelized for his efforts, says, someone please kill this son of a bitch! I don't know if there's a hack of Pac-Man that only has 3 ghosts. Toru was supposed to drive the blue one, so no huge loss. Blue's the least aggro of the 3. Pac-Man, when not eating dots, is always faster. They remember that from the actual game. Sandler on top has Pac back up, and Eddie, with ramming speed, takes out one of his lives. Colonel notices as he's the orange one, he's like zooming across in speeds that aren't normally possible on her eye on the sky camera, watching this all unfold. They almost corner Pac again on his second life just for the one opening in the intersection to eat a power pellet. All the cars turn dark blue. Yup, now they gotta get away. Down goes Ludlow's car. He's running for his life now. And just as the power pellet's time's up, wham! Eddie takes him down. 2 dives down, 1 to go. Pac respawns and gets to swerve out Eddie, who speeds into the water. So now it's down to Pac and Adam Sandler in the red car. Gives chase right into a power pellet. Sandler reverses the car and counts the seconds needed. Speed reverses to a parking garage. Boom, blows through that. And just as Pac is about to bite down, car goes red. Boom. We're tied at 2 wins apiece. Eddie via fire truck arrives just as Ludlow has trophy number 2, Q-Bert. It's a common trope with all of these movies and shows whenever there's a president of the United States. There's always that one general guy whose one-note answer is blowing whatever the threat is up to Kingdom Come. Especially when dealing with extraterrestrials. Sandler watches the kid play a more modern game. I think it's The Last of Us, because there's shots where there's more people than just this empty field with a crosshair on it, as far as I know anyway. But the president's approval rating's up due to the whole saving the world thing. They're all tuxed out for this get-together thing. I guess you're celebrating kind of early, guys. We're still got 1 left. Even Q-Bert, who's already a part of the gang now. Well, one of the things Eddie wanted for helping them out was, again, Serena Williams is in this movie for a minute or 2. Stunning as always, so enjoy that side leg shot as she walks away. But oh no, the aliens via Hall & Oates say the second win was voided. Somebody violated the rules. So, 12 hours full-on attack on the planet. Eddie, knowing the jig is up, cuts and runs. The Colonel's kid finds his glasses and somehow determines that a bunch of scribbles and makeshift formulas gave his car super speed. So it turns out Eddie's always been a cheater, even the tournament he won back in '82. Peter Dinklage is Billy Mitchell. So that one general guy who's always trigger-happy lays into Sandler, pretty much calling him a nothing. Colonel lays into him because Sandler won when he and his team of Navy SEALs failed, and the aliens grabbed the kid as their trophy. So Eddie's bailed, and General tosses Ludlow, Colonel, and Sandler out. They've still got Q-Bert. He knows what's going on with the other side, says, they were once peaceful until threatened. They don't know the footage was just video games. They thought it was a challenge, a declaration of war. But they knew enough to assimilate and become them. This movie. Big mothership shows up and they attack Washington. The works. Paperboy, Robotron, Joust, Frogger. No light guns, but our heroes are determined to try to get on this mothership to stop the attack. They're about to get froggered, but the prey shows up with his crane game skills, using an actual crane to trap it. They wanted me to hide in some underground bunker, so I went rogue. He arcader suited up. That's what the team name for Sandler and Ludlow were. Not sure how former Colonel got one too, but she's good with the laser cannons, and the Prez managed to get a hold of. Lad low on the ground floor saving civilians, but oh no, he's gonna turn his weapon on Lady Lisa, who simps hard enough for her to put down her twin katanas and accept him. And Eddie's back to help too, regretting his actions, sort of. So the other three make it to the mothership, who via Max Headroom, very 80s, probably enough there for some 80s nostalgia review, but not here. Yeah, it's a very 80s Max Headroom. Through him, they tells him, boss is waiting for them and the traitor Q-Bert. Beat the boss and save the planet, and it just so happens to be Donkey Kong. They're literally standing on the first level of Donkey Kong. The trophies the aliens took, they're the girl hostage Pauline in the game. Hope you're good at leaping over barrels. President just kind of sidesteps one. Isn't that shooting? I figured only Sandler would start to climb, doubt himself until the kid reveals plant shooted, so technically Sandler's character rules all and wins, but no, they all climb up. Poor Q-Bert gets squished, but not dead. So they can all team up to save Q-Bert, and Sandler hurls a hammer at DK himself to end the invasion. Everyone's back on Earth. Peter's gotta fess up that Sandler's the best. We get our big no moment from Ludlow because Lady Lisa's part of the invasion force. She goes away too, but Q-Bert for some reason as a trophy stays and of course can turn into Lady Lisa. Our heroes are announced to be a president as world heroes. Dinklage gets his implied Serena Williams-Martha Stewart love session in the Lincoln bedroom as he wanted. Dear Penthouse. Is that still a thing? 1 year later, we get a call-away gag that Lady Lisa gave birth to baby Q-Berts. Would it not have been easier if Ludlow went to their planet where Lisa would be waiting there? You had to scar me with the baby Q-Berts. No, you couldn't have just... This movie's got problems, but... still didn't hurt as much as King of Fighters. Best character, Peter Dinklage. That's about it. He was a scene stealer. I'd wager they'd have to give him some kind of celeb threesome to get him even in this movie. Worst character. As bad as late Adam Sandler can get, scenes with the president mostly slow this movie down, at least for a good portion. Who's as unpopular as later Kevin James would get. Power On, the whole Pac-Man segment was really a lot of fun. Getting even the creator in on it, who gets his hand back at the end of the movie too, by the way. Yay! That would have been a cool thing, IRL. Get 4 drivers on cars or go-karts to chase and be chased by a 5th. You can make a reality show or something around that setup, maybe. That might be fun for a season or 2. Power Off for this movie is just that moment where 2 skilled guns beat 20 to 30. The whole Centipede segment that predates the Pac-Man one was just... Those who've played Centipede know that the Centipede is the titular threat. The spider in your field of ship movement is the true threat. And they only have like 1 spider throughout that whole thing. Instead of just constantly showing up while you're trying to take out the Centipede, while you're trying to focus. The spider's like, deal with this now, deal with me now, I'm in your shit. I'm gonna kill you if I touch you. Deal with me now, deal with me now, deal with me now. That's a big Centipede, a quarter muncher, the fucking spider. I guess the 82 year was the focus, or the 80s, more or less, but no Space Invaders, or would that have been too Futurama ripoff? Actually, I think Space Invaders was like late 70s. Turn of the decade, almost. But that was the 14% on Rotten Tomatoes pixels. I kept my expectations going in low. And I can say, not an unwatchable mess. Not something I go out of my way to see again, but entertaining enough. Aliens and video games. Let's try that formula 1 year later with everyone's favorite Lombax and robot duo. Join me tomorrow for my review of Ratchet & Clank. Until next time, take care! What the hell was that Max Headroom show even about anyway? It's like Jim Carrey before Jim Carrey.